Hello friends, welcome to StudyIQ. Today we are going to have a very interesting discussion regarding Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel is the Chancellor of Germany, akin to Prime Minister of Germany. She has been at the helm of German politics from 2005. That means she has been Chancellor from 2005 till present. Although Angela Merkel has said that she is not looking for another term this year, that means she would be retiring from politics. Today, we are going to look at Angela Merkel's political legacy, her political decisions. Now, many of our viewers, especially from India, we know about Angela Merkel, and especially I'm quite sure that many of the viewers, they know one side of Angela Merkel, where we talk about Merkel as a politician who's very strong, who has been at the helm of politics, German politics from last 15 years. She has stood up to some of the strong men leaders in Germany and men leaders around the world also. She has also shepherded Germany through some tumultuous times and right now through the COVID-19 pandemic. But in this particular discussion, we are going to look at Angela Merkel's other side also. Other side means why she has been criticized continuously in her own country, Germany. In fact, many dissidents have compared Angela Merkel to Hitler. So we'll try to understand the exact reason behind Angela Merkel's criticism and the other side of her policies. So stay tuned with me to get all this interesting information. I am your friend Rahul Saigaonkar. You can follow me on this particular ID. And if you're preparing for any state PSC examination, here are the details of the State Public Service Commission courses that we are running. You can get all the details at studyiq.com or just download the app to know more about us. Right, let's first begin our discussion with an observation. Now, this is Angela Merkel. And if you look at Angela Dorothy Merkel, she is a German politician who has been at the helm of German politics since 2005. That means since 2005, she has been the Chancellor. This is her fourth term. Now, if I have to remember on the back of my mind, I can compare Angela Merkel with that to Putin. Vladimir Putin was in power since 1999. He came to power in 1999 and he has been in power till today, although barring a 4-year period from 2008 to 2012 when he was the Prime Minister. So more or less quite comparable era, isn't it? So a very strong woman. She has been a leader of Christian Democratic Union from 2000 to 2018, after which she was succeeded by another leader, which we'll talk about. She has been a member of Christian Democratic Union. She's also the first female Chancellor of Germany. In fact, I would say she's not just the leader of Germany, she's the leader of entire European Union. She is described as the de facto leader of EU and the most powerful woman in the world, right? And we all know her one side. I'm quite sure that she made history in 2005 when she became the first elected Chancellor of Germany. And at that time in 2005, the unemployment rate in Germany, it stood at 11%. And Germany was widely disparaged as sick man of Europe. But after 15 to 16 years of policies of Angela Merkel, today the unemployment rate stands at 6%, although it has increased in the last couple of years because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But there is no doubt today that German political, economic and the financial cloud is questioned by anyone. We all said that Angela Merkel is like the de facto leader of European Union. And I told you that she has shepherded Germany through some tumultuous times. For example, see, 2008, there was a global recession. She shepherded Germany through that. In 2013, there was the Eurozone crisis. She scraped Germany through that also. In 2015, there was the crisis of refugees. Again, she pushed Germany through this problematic periods. In the Eurozone debt crisis, in fact, it was Angela Merkel who overcame the domestic resistance to give bailouts to the countries and infamously known as PIGS, Portugal, Italy, Greece and Spain. They were given huge bailout packages. Apart from these bailout packages, it was because of the efforts of Angela Merkel that the European institutions have been reformed. Now there is a financial surveillance going on, a financial watchdog is there is an oversight, and the institutions have become more and more democratic, right? Again, in 2014, when Vladimir Putin and Russia, they annexed Crimea, they militarily captured Crimea and they intervened in the eastern Donbas region of Ukraine, it was Angela Merkel who took the lead in negotiating a ceasefire and ultimately led to the Minsk agreements. The very next year, in 2015, at the peak of the refugee crisis, where thousands of refugees, especially from northern Africa and from Syria were running into Europe, Merkel showed the humanity where she let about 1 million Syrian refugees into Germany, mostly Syrian refugees into Germany. So we all know this one side, a very good side of Angela Merkel. In fact, one of the best achievements of Angela Merkel is in the domain of international politics. It is said that a picture speaks 1,000 words. Now just look at this picture and see the strong woman who is taking on Donald Trump. On one side, there are these liberal leaders, on the other side, there is Donald Trump. So she has shepherded not just Germany, but the entire international community through some erratic times, especially considering the strongman leaders like Vladimir Putin, there is Donald Trump, there is Boris Johnson, there is Modi, Jair Bolsonaro. There are so many leaders who have been, I would say, strongmen. And in this world of strong men, Angela Merkel has provided a model, rational, and a steadfast leadership, isn't it? But this is just the one side. On one side, we hail Angela Merkel. That means we appreciate her efforts, not just for Germany, but at the world level. But there is a darker side to Angela Merkel also. And this other side, or the darker side, is highlighted by the German populace. Now here, you can see some pictures where she is being compared to Hitler. They say, get out of the country. Many say that Angela Merkel's policies are rather anti-humanity, inhumane. Let's try to analyze why these people are criticizing Angela Merkel. In fact, if you look at Germany, her policies, Angela Merkel and her policies have led to a string of popular terms which criticize her. In fact, a very infamous term is mercantilism. Please note the spelling of this. It's M-E-R-K-A, mercantilism, akin to Merkel, right? Mercantilism, it basically stands for a systematic prioritization of German commercial and geo-economic interests over democratic or human right values. So, mercantilism basically stands for profit orientation, realist perspective, talking about only the national interests of Germany by letting go or foregoing the other humanity or human rights related issues. For example, if we talk about Eurozone crisis, just a couple of minutes back, I told you during the Eurozone crisis, Angela Merkel shepherded Germany as well as European Union. And during this period, she gave importance to bailouts. But if you look at these bailouts closely, many financial experts, they criticize that the bailouts were given in such a way that the German banks would benefit out of it at the cost of Greek and Portuguese workers. Apart from that, in the 2015-16 migration crisis, Merkel did allow about a huge number of refugees from Syria and other countries into Germany. But when the number was swelling, what she did was she went for a money for refugees deal with Turkey. And it was not just with Turkey. She went for deals with many Northern African countries also, that please keep the refugees and we will continue to pay you. That was the approach. So it is because of these reasons she has been criticized also. Not just this mercantilistic approach can be seen in her other political decisions also. For instance, Merkel working with autocrats. Now, Angela Merkel, although at the domestic level within Germany, she does not rely too much on the far right alternative. At home, she belongs to the Christian Democratic Union and the opposition is far right. So she seldom cooperates with the far right parties. But at the EU level, her party, the Christian Democratic Union, it has an alliance, I would say, with Viktor Orban. That is Hungary's autocrat leader Viktor Orban's, his right-wing autocratic party, Fidesz party, is an ally to CDU at the European Parliament, right? They both are allied as European People's Party members. In fact, many people, they say that Orban's rule in Hungary, it is dubbed as audiocracy. Now, why audiocracy? It is said that the German cars, especially Audi, Mercedes, etc., they get almost a free pass in Hungary in terms of exports. Apart from this, Angela Merkel is also criticized for her working with Russia and China. Angela Merkel has been continuously working with Russia despite the 2014 incident of Crimea, where heavy sanctions have been imposed on Russian officials, on Russia by the West, by United States and many Western countries. But despite all this, Angela Merkel has been pushing for the Nord Stream 2 pipeline in collaboration with Russia itself. And her interaction with China has been quite fruitful. Her interaction with China is basically based on the principle of profit over principles, meaning money over morality or ethics, money over human rights, money over the other moral principles. We can see that approach anywhere. Take example of allowing Chinese 5G in Germany, take example of not commenting on the Hong Kong violence or the Xinjiang violence, and recently we also spoke about collaboration of Germany, possible collaboration of Germany with China in Africa also. So all these suggest that there is an other side of Merkel. Yes, on one side we say that she has been a good liberal leader, but her policies have been quite mercantilistic, that too with the MERK. Now, apart from this, when we talk about human rights, Angela Merkel has continuously flip-flopped on many issues. You can see here the article on the Wall Street Journal, the secret of Angela Merkel's longevity, that is strategic flip-flops, meaning she has shifted her support or her allegiance based on the political wind. A classic example being the 2017 vote over the same-sex marriage, that is the rights of LGBTQ. Angela Merkel herself, she voted against the same-sex marriage, although please remember that in 2007 this was legalized in Germany, but she voted against the same-sex marriage. So these all show the other side of Angela Merkel. Now this discussion is with an intention of understanding both the sides of the coin, right? We all know Merkel as a good liberal leader on one side, but there has been another side which is more and more profit oriented, which is more and more national interest oriented. Now, this realist approach of Angela Merkel has led to another term in German vocab. And what is that? Another infamous term which is based on Angela Merkel is the Merkelin. Now, Merkelin has been very famous among German teens. They use it as a slang for chronic indecision. That means procrastinating the decisions. Doing nothing on one particular issue till the end is something called as Merkelin. Now, this term has become very famous in Germany. Now, if we look at her political decisions, you can talk about any decision. Merkel has seesawed or flip-flopped on any particular decision. Say, for instance, the rule of law crisis in Hungary, because Viktor Orban's party is allied with her party, rule of law issue in Poland, or take any other issue on refugees, migrants also. She has flip-flopped, but eventually has taken a decision till the last possible moment. And it has led to an infamous term called as Merklin, that is delaying your decision making. So all in all, from this discussion, what we understood is the other picture or the other side of Angela Merkel. But nonetheless, one needs to understand and appreciate the achievement of Angela Merkel. See, Angela Merkel has also announced that she is not looking for another term in 2021. But many election experts, analysts do suggest that if Merkel would run for office, she would be re-elected again for a record 5th term in office, although she has said she's not running. That means even till today, she remains the most popular politician by quite some distance in Germany. And from this discussion, I'm quite sure it was an eye-opening discussion for many of us, where we knew one side of Merkel. Today we understood the other side of Merkel. So after this particular thing, one may say that I may agree with her policies, I may not agree with her policies, but one thing is very, very clear: what Angela Merkel has achieved. Her greatest legacy, not just for Germany, but for EU, will be opening the door for women's political leadership in entire European continent. And perhaps it's an inspiration for all the world. But the biggest question that beckons in front of us is what after 2021? Who is going to be the possible successor of Angela Merkel? See, she has already opened the door for Ursula von der Leyen. She has become the head of European Commission, again, owing to an alliance between her party and Viktor Orban's party. Obviously, one woman in the European Commission also. But here, who is going to succeed her? There is another woman who was the head of CDU, but she has resigned recently, Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer. But experts do suggest that the person who's most likely to succeed is Armin Laschet. But there is another very strong contender, that is Markus Söder, who is the Prime Minister of Bavaria. Although there is also a hope of German Greens Party. Now, this is another personality, a very important female politician from Germany, German Greens Party, Annalena Baerbock. Now, Annalena Baerbock stands as anti-Merkelian, meaning her policies have been rather anti-Merkelian. What is her agenda? If she comes to power, she says that she's going to scrap the Nord Stream 2. She's going to kick Chinese out of the German telecom sector. She is going to cut ties with Russia. So again, Green Party, Annalena Baerbock, she stands on the other side of Angela Merkel. quite opposite to Angela Merkel. But as of now, one possible successor and whose importance is gaining more and more day by day is Armin Laschet, who would probably succeed as the leader of CDU. Let's wait and watch for the German elections, which are upcoming at the year end. If any development comes over that, we will bring it to you as soon as possible on StudyIQ. That is it right now from my side. Thank you for watching this video. Jai Hind.